recording started. I'm gonna assume that you're Noel, Gabe. Uh, this kind of looks like you. And I don't think you're playing the other characters. All right. So first things first. Uh-oh. This is not what we want. First things first. Be careful, like aggressively peeking this if you don't have a shield of some kind, right? So it can be a monkey dropping bubble for you because he knows he doesn't need it. It can be like a Ryan who's for some reason holding the side. That would be very weird, but you know, Sigma or something like. If you don't have like protection, it's very risky being out here because a Widow can just show up and end your day, right? Or a Hanzo, right? Like there's a lot of potential one shots here, or getting slept that can get you killed here. So you just kind of want to chill, right? Play more towards where you have cover, right? Maybe you play a few steps out if you really feel like it, right? And as they start, like, you know the squishies are getting somewhere out onto the map, you start backing up, right? So you don't get one shot. This dynamite's cool, but like this is super risky, especially standing still with the dynamite. Like I know that's like most people do for dynamite, but there's like actually a non-zero chance you die here. And then you you panic and miss your coach gun. Now you're stuck on the ground. Feels bad. Again, be careful with this. I know you want to shoot this Rhine and you want to build their ult, but like, where are the squishies, right? Who are the people who are going to kill you, right? It's the Ana, it's the Hanzo, and to some degree the McCree. Or the Lucio, actually. The Lucio can actually contest you. But like, you know what the Lucio is, but you have no idea where the squishies are and where they're about to peak, right? And you're just like hard out here with no escape plan, right? This is so risky. You don't even have a mercy pocket to justify being out here. The Hanzo hits one shot and you die. So I know you want the healing there. Well, like, please do not distract your Ana from your Rhine, who is literally in the middle of the enemy team. Because, if you just think about it, I know you're half health, right? And being a half health is uncomfortable, right? But who's actually in more danger, right? Is it you, who is missing 90 health, which is quite a bit, right? It's half your health pool. Or this Rhine, who is, like, being bulldozed. Like, nothing wrong with asking for, like, wanting to be healed up, right? But keep in mind, like, what's going to take from your team to do that, right? And your Ana has a redirect focus. Your Ryan actually almost died. Just so she could give you one scope shot. Yeah, and also be patient with your dynamites. I was about to bring this up in the last dynamite, but it killed two people with the sticky, so I didn't actually talk about it. But like, you kind of want to wait until they come out, right? Because in a lot of regards, dynamiting tanks for damage is good, but you really want to dynamite squishies, right? Because that's actual kill pressure. So if your team like starts backing up, right? So it's just difficult because I know your team's giving them like not giving them a lot of room to actually walk out. But if like in higher level games, your Ryan is going to start holding here, right? He's going to start holding here with his Zarya. And that means that the enemy team has to walk out into a crossfire, right? And that's when you want to dynamite is when the Ryan walks out, tries to challenge, or maybe starts shielding you and your team shooting him from the side, and then the squishies come out to try and shoot you from behind the shield, right? That's when you dynamite, right? So I know it's awkward because your tanks are holding really close, but you really want to wait until at minimum the Ryan's trying to force his way out of the door, right? If you just try to dynamite, blind dynamite, and hope it works, you're going to like have a lot of missed dynamites. Right, and now having dynamite would be really good, right? Dynamite's a long cooldown, right? Having dynamite right now would be fight winning, right? This could save the fight, right? If you hit a dynamite on these squishies, they would just die. You're full health. No, don't bob this. All right. So a couple things in bob usage. One, it's a good way to start a fight generally, because it eats cooldowns, it creates crossfires. There's a lot of things, right? Um, it's only good in salvaging fights, when both teams are just like running out of tanks, right? Like both teams are like just running out of like healing or damage, or not damage, right? Are running out of healing or running out of like sustain. Like so the Rhine shield's really low, or maybe the Rhine is dead, right? And your Rhine is maybe also dead, but that's not as important, right? It's like if they're running out of stuff, right? It's a really easy way to just like snowball a fight, right? But there are a couple things about Bob that are like very like clear from this. Is that like one thing is that Bob is really bad at killing people on his own. He's really bad at it, right? If you look how much damage he's gonna do. He did a lot of zoning, right? But your team was already dead, right? And they've been dead. So it's really important that you don't do Bob in situations where your team is already lost, and the Bob isn't going to kill people because they're out of sustain, right? Um, also another really important thing is that Bob is really good at creating crossfires, right? But the problem is you drop down here, you threw a Bob out, and then you backed up into them and died, right? Or you backed up and died, right? So if you were to Bob, right, if this fight were to be salvageable, right, your Rhine would probably need to be alive, so that your team has something to like stand behind, and like play with, so like this, so you need your team needs more stuff, and you need to be bobbing from like up here, right? Or like bobbing from main and then jumping up to here or something like that, right? Like you need to generate crossfire so that way, like if they hide from the Bob, right? Because if we look, this Lucio actually almost died, and they all hid behind the cart, right? This Bob comes out, they all hide behind the cart. Now imagine if you're right here with the dynamite, right? This fight's over, right? You see how this works? Right? You want to use Bob to create crossfires, um, and at times when your team can like really capitalize, right? So either you're up here ready to capitalize, or for example, your Rhine just runs in and kills the Zarya while the backline is zoned by the Bob, right? But if you don't have either of these conditions, this Bob is really bad, right? Because it's not going to do anything. It just stalls the card out for an extra like 10 seconds.
I'm gonna get you for that. Allow me to repair the damage.
So, quick question. Okay, so assuming your Rhine's not dead, and assuming you had Bob, where should you Bob? I'll give you a second to think about it. All right, it's a trick question. If you're playing with the same angle from your team, there's almost no good Bob you can get here, right? Like you can kind of get a useful Bob, especially for a contested card if your Rhine's under pressure, right? But for the most part, you're not going to get a good Bob from here, right? Um, and then again, this is why you should probably just path high ground, right? Just path high ground. Make sure you wait until your team's like coming out before you actually peek, right? And then you peek out, throw a dynamite, throw Bob if you have it, right? First, right? Just throw it over here, right? And now like you're giving them a big problem to worry about, right? And so you just throw it over this wall, right? Down here, lands here, right? And then you throw a dynamite, and now what are they gonna do, right? Um, but again, timing is really important, and crossfires are really important. If you can't get these as Ashe, like you're in for like you're pretty miserable. Also, this is something I'm personally really bad at utilizing. But one thing Ashe can do is like you can like if you hit a scope shot, you can just like start unscoping and doing it like and your first couple of shots are like 100% accurate, or pretty close to it, right? So if you get that Hanzo, if you dink that Hanzo, he's super low. You can just like start left clicking, or like let go of right click and start left clicking. Um, and one thing you can do for more burst damage as well, if you're playing more aggressive, like say on the high ground, right? You can like jump out, unscope shot, shoot once at like the Hanzo or the Ana, right? Then scope in, shoot them again, right? And then unscope, shoot them again, and you'll straight up one shot people. It's like actually brutal how much damage you do. Um, and you see like top 500 Ashes do this all the time, maybe even too much, to the point where they're always just running out of ammo. But like especially this guy's standing still. This is a free unscoped headshot into a scoped headshot, and they're just dead, right? And it's something you definitely could stand to use more. I don't think you've done it at all. I don't think you fired like an unscoped shot outside of shooting like between respawns, but it's definitely something you can like work into your repertoire. It's very awkward. I know the timing is kind of weird, but I didn't back up fast enough. Fortunate. So again, right, like it's difficult for your team to turn around when they're focusing on other things at the same time. So when you're backing up, again, also don't back up like this because if you think about how what they see first when they come around the corner, right? They see that, they see the door, they see this, right? They saw you, right? So if you want to like, if you're trying not to die from here and buying time for your healers to like look at you, right? Instead of backing up this way, right? Back up this way, chill in here, right? And unless you're unlucky, and there's also a Reaper pushing this at the same time as this is going on, and they're pushing this, which is like, I don't know how they do all three. Like your team has to really mess up for that to happen. Which I mean, to be fair, your team kind of has with like your mind feeding. But like this death over here was really bad. But like don't make it again. Not again. Sorry, that was from my last review. Don't make it easy for them to kill you, right? So like don't back up like this where they can see you faster. Back up like this. It's harder for them to see you, right? Then like you can even duck in, right? Totally fine. Yeah. So not enough using high ground. Not enough off angling. Um, and the one bob you eventually got was like, kind of rough because your dynamites have been like not the best. Your dynamites on third point were like much better. But your earlier dynamites are very rough. We'll see that like persists, or that was just like a defense thing.
This will restore you. Much better.
Ooh, this is ballsy. I like it.
Better get on the
Ah.
objective.
Okay.
You don't wanna
All right.
miss out
So you
on
saw the
that.
mega respawn timing, right? You know it's coming back up soon. You're coming up with 40 HP and coach gunning you up. Like you got the kill, right? You did your job, right? Just go back on the health back.
Here it comes.
Like that was just asking to die.
Not letting that slide.
Tracer.
Objective A
Breaker.
captured. Escort
Pathing is good. I like it. You can probably be more aggressive with the initial burst, right? You can probably just blink in and then like blink out. Right here, when you see this this Mercy, right? And you want to shoot her, right? This you could probably just blink in, get a win clip here, or get pretty close to it, and then blink back as soon as they look at you and get her right back around the corner, right? But like there's realistically like you're pulling attention here, but you're not actually like threatening a kill, you know? This is like the annoying tracer, not the actual dangerous tracer. That's tracer I always am, you know, the annoying tracer. But it's not scary to the enemy team. This is good though. I would keep it like an eye out on your left. Okay, she actually is pushing this. Just because like you push here, you saw them walking at you, and when you went around, you didn't actually look back to see if anyone was following you. Like you shot the Ryan, that's great, but like when he leaves, right, check behind you. Looks out though. All right, take high ground. Yes, nice. All right, so quick things to keep in mind. Hey typo, I'm probably gonna stream a bit, and if I keep lurking, my CPU will melt. Sorry. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Let me know how your games go, and yeah, we can go over another game of yours in like a week or something. Okay. Yeah. So keep in mind, if there's one person up here, you can fight them. But if a lot of people come up, you kind of don't want them to know you're up here. So you just kind of want to chill and hide, right? And when your team gets more information, like about where they're going, right, either from lower or under or above, lower or under, um, then you can make your move, right? If they're going lower, you can start aggressively challenging top. Um, and if they're coming top, you just chill until they come out and then hit the back line, right? Especially when they start dropping. I'm coming back typo to the game. It's been far too long watching and stuff. Time to get back to it. A million times slow. Like, don't feel pressure to get back to the game, right? It's just a game. Um, Games are fun, but like, they give you mental stress. Like, it's not worth. Yeah, so this is like too aggressive, I think, because if somebody walks out here, they'll just see you, right? Basically. So like, you just kind of want to chill, like, here against this wall. Just be as hard to see as possible. Keep getting busy with grinding Apex. Yeah, like if you like Apex more than Overwatch, that's totally fine, right? Just play Apex. Apex. You know?
I understand.
Oh, feels bad. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it's not very good. All right, so I would like you to hold this angle like more aggressively, because especially like once you grab the mini and you know he's no flash, like you can actually challenge this McCree, right? Um, like don't like commit to it obviously, but like you can probably hold this a bit harder than you have been. Come back, he's gonna get flash again. Feels bad. There it is. Yeah, you just keep coming back towards main, right? And main's cool, right? But like, you can just duel the McCree, right? He's either going to demand a pocket, in which case their front line dies, right? Especially with all the double grabs going on, or he's not going to get a pocket because their tension's split and you just kill him, right? Like when he has no flash, he's not scary anymore. And now you're like stuck fighting with your team.
Good job, team. Let's keep it going.
This will heal you.
Bad guys. Heads
Chilling, pretty good. Or maybe you're looking for. Were you looking for grab pulse? Was that what was going on? I don't remember. Yeah, you gotta make your move earlier if you're gonna flank, right? You're gonna flank, right? Either check to see whether or not it's possible first, right? Or like for the pulse bomb assassination, and then come back for the fight, right? Or just make your or peek and see that they're like flankable, and then make your play, right? But don't just like chill here, right? And then like come back to the play, you know? You're not doing anything. You're like relying on your teammates to not like to not make mistakes here. Cool.
Let them up.
Again, this is why I just want to chill next to the wall, right? And then when he comes out, he's gonna flash Dan, and then you're gonna kill him, right? Like I know it was unlucky, right? But you didn't need to get unlucky here. When you're dealing with McCree, right? Like, or just like people, squishies in general, right? You want to be you want to shoot them before they see you, in most situations. Not always possible, right? But that's what you want.
Statistically speaking, I usually get most of my team back alive.
Who's counting? Alright, again, very risky with this. Right, they have an Ashe this time, which is even more threatening than McCree. If he lands one headshot here, you're dead. Oh, okay, never mind. They're running Ashe instead of Han, so. Yeah, be patient with the dynamite. Be patient with the dynamite. Be patient with the dynamite. Feels bad. Well, your team's 5v6. What happened? Okay, well, okay, it's even more important than you're patient because you know your team's gonna have to give ground, right? And like the only thing that's gonna salvage this is getting a dynamite kill every fight, right? So. What? Okay, I gotta see that again. Look at this McCree go.
Hello.
Late to the party, he's like, I want to get in there. God dang. Alright, your team's going to give ground, please.
Smoke 'em out of there.
Your team is giving ground. Your Ryan just dropped, right? They're going to walk out the door, right? Then you dynamite. You don't need a dynamite now. If you really want a deeper angle, you can go over here, right? And you'll get a slightly better angle into the door, right? If you're feeling impatient, right? But for the most part, you really just want to wait until they actually try to come out and you can dynamite the squishies. Or at least dynamite both tanks after the bubbles, right? Because if you can't do that, then like the dynamite's effectively worthless. Oh my god, you're Mega Shatter. Oh, almost. Almost. Ah! Fortunate. He lives by a thread.
Here it comes. Fire at will. 30 seconds remaining. They're on the rope. Courtesy of the deadlock deck.
Your dynamite hit rate is like very low. And it just comes down to lack of patience, right? Just wait. The good dynamite opportunity will come to you, right? You just need to wait for it. You're like, you're so concerned with getting dynamite value on cooldown that you're paradoxically getting less dynamite value because you're not hitting any of them, right? You're not hitting people, or you're just hitting shields, bubbles, and just gotta chill. The good dynamite will come.
Score 3. Ready for back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Hello, turret. Is there a pack in here? Am I crazy? I guess there's no pack in here. What's the pack? Is it the pack? Yeah, this is the pack. It's so weird. There's no pack in here, but there's a pack in here. Who would ever use this? Or is this like an actual relevant spot on the map?
Enemy turret destroyed.
Nice. Before you blink, make sure you like check to see if there's no one over here first, because it's this guy up here and you blink, like you just alerted them that you're there, right? But yeah. Right, that's good pressure. You force the torp to drop, and you put his turret in an awkward spot. Don't actually challenge that though. Yeah, just leave. This is okay timing. You're going in when your team's trying to make a play. Chasing you, I think. Yeah, he wants you. Echo's also chasing. What the heck? It's like not a fight she wins. What does she want? What? What was that? Oh my god, the anti. Commit harder, commit harder, no! Alright, when that anti's in, like it doesn't matter, just blow everything. Trying to secure a kill here, right? And then if you get forced out with recall, like it doesn't matter, you either like you kill the Ana straight up, right? Or they commit everything trying to save the Ana in terms of attention, right? And cooldowns. What cooldowns they have left anyways, right? And then your team can make a play on the front, right? But if you just play it if you play it too loosely, like you have been in previous fights, right? Like there's no way like the backline anti only does something if you can get onto the backline, right? Like the backline anti is cool. It's very scary for the backline, but if no one's shooting them, then they're not scared, right? So you got to full commit on this. I know you get slept, but you know, you like use one blink, like maybe. Actually, let me check. Let me verify that's a factual statement. Felt like you was the only one blink to get in, but you might not have just had any blinks. Okay, like you're holding onto this blink, and when you actually blink, you get slept. Right, just go in harder, right, and then recall if you need to. But you need to capitalize off that. And also, there's something to be said about like blink management, because like you blinked out here when you probably didn't need to, and that cost you an extra blink. Nice. Nice. Sorry, I lost half her HP getting to point faster by grenade jumping. Alright, cool. Overall, was fine. Ashe could use some work. The big thing with Ashe is, again, angles and crossfire. Be patient on the dynamite, right? It will come to you, right? But if you force dynamite, you're actually going to get less dynamite value. Can't really talk about your bobs. You only had one the entire game, but let's see. Yeah, just really emphasize high ground, crossfires, and dynamite timing, right? That's the most important thing. There's also the attack where you can just like unscope, scope, unscope, unscope. And that is a lot of burst damage, and that's what you generally do if you get like a surprise look at someone. And so like if you show up on high ground at a good time and they're not expecting it, you just pop out, you just burst someone down really fast. Um, what else? Because like generally speaking, when Ashe shows up on high ground and goes for like some shots plus a dynamite, she's not going to stay up there for 12 shots worth of like scope shots, right? So the faster you unload your ammo, the better, because someone's going to eventually kick you out, and then you just back up, right? And either come back after you get healed, or regroup with your team and then like split off again, right? But generally speaking, because your nature is like so bursty relative to like when you show, you don't really have to be worried about conserving ammo that much. Um, for your tracer, it was fine. I mean, your tracer's always been good. The big thing is you don't commit hard enough at certain times. You're very like conservative when like you probably didn't need to be. Like either when you had full cooldowns, right, and you were behind them and no one was looking at you, you can just like blink in, unload a clip, blink back, right, and then run around the corner. Um, or when like a play had to happen at that moment, right? Like when you're on a hit like a big anti on the back line, but like no frontline anti, right? Um, you just gotta follow up on that as hard as you can and then back out if you still live after that. Um, yeah. Let me know if any questions, comments, concerns. I'll cut the VOD here.